What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess, and I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick'em plays for Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. That $1,000 bonus is definitely worthwhile if you're new to Underdog, so I'll get more into that later. Right now, let's get into the picks. I'm doing something a little different here. I'm going to call this Touchdown Tuesday moving forward. On Tuesdays during this NFL season, I'm going to be making my touchdown picks, three-leg slips, guys to get the ball over the line into the end zone. This is a exercise for a couple reasons. One, I've just got NFL all over my brain right now. I can't wait for the NFL season to get underway. I can't wait to be watching these games. I'm handicapping a ton of stuff. So that is one reason. The other reason is that these are touchdown picks for a game on Thursday, Friday, and on Sunday. I have a feeling that a lot of the value in these picks is going to be diminished as the week goes on, just because naturally everyone is going to be taking guys to score touchdowns, not to not score touchdowns. So that also is in your favor if you lock in these types of props and picks early, because again, just the human nature aspect of it, people are going to be betting on their favorite players, their favorite teams to have successful days. Obviously, that doesn't always happen, but if you do have guys you like, you definitely can try to get ahead of the market. And just like in sports betting, Underdog is no different. These lines move depending on where the action is and where the risk is for Underdog, or if it was a sports book, where the risk is for the sports book. So with that being said, the game on Thursday, we've got Chiefs against the Ravens. I am going to be taking Lamar Jackson to get a rushing touchdown here. Lamar Jackson has 4 regular season games against the Chiefs. His most recent regular season game against the Chiefs was 2021. He scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Overall, in those 4 games, he has 3 rushing touchdowns. So 2 out of his 4 games in the regular season he's got in the end zone, and he's got 3 total touchdowns. Obviously, they played in the playoffs last year, and the Chiefs won that game. Lamar Jackson had 54 rushing yards. He did not get in the end zone, which is a little bit frustrating if you were backing him to get in. But that said, I just think about that. One, the pass catchers are healthy for the Ravens right now. I think Mark Andrews is expected to play. Obviously, Derrick Henry has now joined this team, which makes a big difference as far as where the defense can play. And so you think, like, oh, there's all these other options. Why would Lamar score here? Well, now the defense has a lot more to think about than Lamar's legs. If they're thinking about covering, tight end, maybe double tight end set with Isaiah Likely, and then also, you've got Rashad Bateman in the line. I don't know why I'm talking about Rashad Bateman. But you've got the wide receivers, and you've got the tight ends, and you've got Derrick Henry to think about. There's less attention you can be paying to scrambling Lamar. I mean, from about the 10-yard line, I think he's a super huge threat to score. You don't necessarily think he's going to be doing a QB sneak, but even if they are on the 2, 3, 4-yard line, I don't necessarily think it's just going to be as easy as hand it to Henry and see what happens. If you use a true read option or an RPO, it's like going to be virtually impossible to stop, right? So just visualize that. Lamar Jackson gets his shotgun snap from the 2, 3-yard line. He fakes a handoff to Derrick Henry, and then he starts scrambling. The linebacker starts to pursue, and then he pulls up like he's going to toss it over his head to Mark Andrews. Good luck stopping that. And if the linebacker jumps on the pump fake, Lamar is just going to scoot into the end zone, no problem. So I definitely think that this healthy offense, there's a lot of options, a lot of guys who can score, but I think it opens things up for Lamar Jackson to get one here. The total in this game is 46 points as well, so a lot of points should be on the board in this one, and hopefully Lamar can contribute to that. Next, we're going to Friday. We're going to Brazil. We're going to Saquon Barkley again for the Eagles, a new running back coming over from the Giants. I have him to score a touchdown as well against the Packers. Packers defense is all right. They have some holes in it, though. They definitely do. Total in this game, 49 points. I don't think the Eagles brought Saquon Barkley in there to kind of keep him on the shelf. I know, obviously, around the red zone and on the goal line situations, there's always the Eagles' patented tush push that's going to scare people, and you're thinking that Jalen Hurts is just going to vulture all those touchdowns down at the goal line. But Jason Kelce's gone. Cam Jurgens, the guy who's filling in for him, the guy that's their new starting center, is obviously a really good center, a really highly thought of prospect when he came out, and he's had some years in this system to kind of learn it. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be as good at the tush as he's not going to be as good as Jason Kelsey as at the tush push right off the bat, at least in my estimation. And also, I just think that Saquon Barkley, again, they've got those wide receivers. They've got Dallas Goedert at tight end. They've got a running threat at quarterback. There's just so much space to cover, so many guys to cover, that I think Saquon Barkley just is so dynamic with the ball in his hand, so powerful. Just if they get in the red zone, he is going to be a threat to score. I mean, that's it. If there's any sort of good play design and they get him any sort of space near that goal line, he's going to find a way to get the ball over that line, especially when he's healthy early in the year. And again, I don't think the Eagles brought him over to be a decoy so they can run QB sneaks. I mean, I don't think that that's happening. So he's also a pretty good pass catcher. So there's a lot of ways for him to get this one done. Last one, we're going to Sunday, and we're going to be targeting a backup running back. But I say that in jest because Devon Achane is technically the number 2 running back on the Dolphins depth chart behind Raheem Mostert. But you know both those guys play a lot. You know both those guys get plenty of touches in these games when they're both healthy. Achane had 11 touchdowns in 11 games, I'm pretty sure, last year, if my my memory is correct. So it's a pretty good touchdown per game average. And again, he is such an explosive player that he doesn't need to be, he can score from literally his own 1-yard line. He can outrun anybody in the end zone. He's got that type of speed from the running back position. Obviously, he can catch the ball, make things happen that way, and he can run. I just think 150-point total in this game in the Jaguars against the Dolphins. So you definitely like 50 points potentially being on the board, and you got to be thinking that one of the running backs for the Dolphins is going to be contributing to those 50 points. And again, everyone's going to be targeting Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddell and, Mostert's a starter. Maybe, put him in for a touchdown. I mean, again, I think all those guys could score. They really could. I'm not the highest guy on the Jaguars. The rush D last year was pretty good in yards, but as far as touchdown percentage allowed, they were right in the middle / maybe right on the cusp of the bottom half of the league. It was really close, really marginal with a couple other teams. And again, this Dolphins offense is unique. They're special, especially early in the year when the weather is good and their guys are healthy. So I expect a lot of touchdowns in this game, and I think Devon Achane is going to get one of them. So if these 3 picks hit and you get all 3 of these guys in, it's a 10.89x multiplier, so 10 to 1, or basically 9 to 1 after you take out your entry fee, plus 900-ish in sportsbook terms, or actually plus 9, almost exactly 10 to 1 in sportsbook terms, I should say. You could also play it as a flex and kind of, hope to go 2 for 3. If it goes 3 out of 3, you get 5.44x. If it goes 2 out of 3, you get 1.81x. So if you want to be a little bit more risk averse and kind of just give yourself more outs, I don't hate that either. But I really like all these. I think Lamar Jackson, you're getting massive value on him right now at 1.65x multiplier in your slip. You're also getting a little bit of plus money with Devon Achane, and Saquon Barkley is a flat multiplier. All these games are high totals. All these guys are going to touch the ball a lot, and all these guys are really dynamic by the goal line. So I love all 3 of these guys to start off week 1 with a nice little 10 to 1 pick'em slip for touchdowns on this first Touchdown Tuesday. All right. I talked about the sponsor a little bit at the beginning of the show, sports gambling, or not sports gambling. We'll talk about the sports gambling store next. But use promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG, at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a deposit match bonus of up to $1,000. Definitely worth the time to type in that promo code. If you put $100 on the app, you'll get 50 for free. If you put $2,000 on the app, you'll get 1,000 for free. If you put 1,000, you'll get 500 for free. And there's no crazy rollover requirements. I know back in the day, a lot of the offshore sports books would be like 200% bonus match with a 35x rollover, which is, obviously a joke. Most people are not as good good enough at managing bankroll to profit from those types of promotions. Just one-time playthrough on Underdog, so definitely worth your time. Next, I want to say use promo code football at the SGPN store. It's sg.pn/store. Get 10% off all the awesome SGPN gear out there. Definitely time to be suiting up in your DGen gear as the NFL season gets underway. And also be on the lookout for the SGPN free roll football contest. $2,500 for first place, or $3,500 for first place if you're a Patreon member. So check that out. And there will be information about that on the Gambling Podcast Twitter. Lastly, let's go to the Dong Squad. We still got baseball. It's football season, but we got baseball. We're going Rhys Hoskins versus Steven Matz of the Cardinals. Hoskins is obviously a Brewer. Let's get a home run there. Next, we're going to Shohei Ohtani versus old team and Reed Detmers of the Angels. This one's down in Anaheim. Shohei's going back down to Orange County for the first time. Let's get that home run, Shohei. And lastly, Bryan Reynolds versus Kyle Hendricks in Pittsburgh. Reynolds has been actually hitting with a little power lately, which I like to see. He's obviously a very talented hitter. If he's swinging for the fences, it's late in the year, he might as well try to rack up some stats. And dongs are on the table when Hendricks is the pitcher. So I'm just going to say that. If this goes 3 out of 3 on this flex slip, you get 47.52x return on your money. If it goes 2 out of 3, you get 8.85x. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Let's make some money.